Ayo, and in today's tutorial, it's going to be a continuation of the course MAC132. Basically, I think this is our fourth class we have on this course, and hopefully our next class we should be running up with the course. So it's going to be a long one. Today's class is going to be a long one. So please do well to have your writing material and follow us. So that is being said, let's get straight into it. Okay, so we have Mark. Moment. We have Mark 132. What we have on the thumbnail says the origin and evolution of advertisements and sales promotion. Right? That's basically what we'll be treating, the origin of advertisements. All right, the origin of advertisement and sales promotion. Now we're going to take our bearing from how advertisement started. Okay, how advertisement started. So let's take a look at how it started in the pre. All right, when we say pre, before the pre-industrial era. What is era or time? Let's just go with era. Now, what was like during this era? Okay, and let's not forget the industrial era. All right, this is when we have more of industry and the economy was more of capitalist. Okay, so what was advertisement like in this era? Now, many years before the industrial age, the most common economic activities known to man were hunting, farming, herding, and handcraft. All right, basically these are the things that man does. Now, in the pre-industrial era, this period, all right, in the pre-industrial era, it is basically the period from the immemorial to 19th century. All right, to 19th century. And with the overcoming of this period, now there was an issue between the US independence, all right, and the Civil War era. Now, this pre-industrial era is between the US independence and the Civil War era. Now, this period was characterized by larger and more complex markets, increased demand for products, and slow development for the need for advertisements. All right, this pre-industrial era, talking about immemorial to the 19th century. Okay, now during this era, this era was characterized basically by three things. Okay, basically by three things, which are larger and complex markets, increased demand for products, and unfortunately slow development to the need for advertisements. So now let's take that down. Larger and more complex markets. Okay, increased demand for products, increase demand for products, and slow, all right, slow development for the need of advertisement. Basically, like we said before now, that many years before the industrial age, you know, the basic thing people does, the activities that human activities revolve around things like hunting, farming, all right, herding, and handicrafts. Now, after or before the pre-industrial era, all right, basically, according to what we have in the material, the system then was characterized by these 3 points, which are the larger and more complex markets. The market was large and complex. Okay, now as large and complex as the market is, basically there is demand for things, demand for products was on the increase, and unfortunately advertisement was seen as not necessary. All right, so it led to the slow development for advertisement. Now let's continue. Now, advertisement and sales promotion during this time were said to be the symbol of American capitalism. All right, capitalism. Okay, now these were the symbol of American capitalism around the globe, but they both existed much before the founding of the US. Now, what are we saying here? What we are saying here is that advertisements and sales promotion was capitalized upon by the US economy. Now, don't forget that before the industrial era, there was a large market that was complex. Okay, and basically the market is large, so there is demand. All right, and as a result of this demand, majority of the people, now what makes the market complex? The products are available, the demand is there, but people that require products could not get to the product they need because they have little or no idea about the existence or whereabouts of the product. Thereby, there was a loophole for advertisement and sales promotion. All right, so this is what the American economy capitalized on during this era. Now let's take this point. According to JD in his work, he says advertisement and sales promotion strategy. All right, these developments can roughly be divided into the following epochs, which tie with the major wars during that period. Now, what are we saying in essence? Let's not forget that the pre-industrial era, this is the era whereby a lot was missing, coupled with the fact that countries were going to war, and the industrial era was a time whereby the strong took it by force, the survival of the fittest. All right, so basically there was demand. All right, there's a large market, but people don't know where these needs can be met or how these needs can be met. All right, so now we have this. So according to what he said here, that's Gerard. That's Gerard J. All right, Gerard J. Tellis, in his work Advertisement and Sales Promotion Strategy. He said the development of, we are talking about the history, we are talking about the evolution of, all right, the historical development of advertisement and sales promotion. So according to Gerard J. Tellis now, he's saying that the development of advertisement and sales promotion, according to him in his work, he says we can roughly divide these into the following, all right, categories. Okay, now he said the first category now, according to him, the first category said War of Independence to the Civil War, all right, during the Civil War, all right, during independence and Civil War. Now, this period, all right, witnessed what could be regarded as a very significant development in the history of advertisement. All right, the very first thing he said, during War of Independence to Civil War. War of Independence to Civil War. All right, according to him, he said this era, all right, can be regarded as a very significant development in the history of advertisement and sales promotion. Secondly, Civil War to World War One. Civil War to World War. Civil War to World War One. Now, the Better Business Bureau was founded in the United States in 1912 as the major self-regulatory agency for basically advertisement and promotion. Okay, don't forget we said something about the American economy capitalizing on this loophole, all right, during this era. Now, the second category, according to Gerard, he said during the Civil War, all right, to World War One, Better Business Bureau, all right, Better Business Bureau was formed. I think I need to take that down. Better Business Bureau was formed in, all right, 1912. Better Business Bureau, 1912, in the United States as a major self-regulatory agency. All right, and we have the third category, World War One to World War Two. World War One to World War Two. All right. Now, for years before Second World War, the Great Depression of the 1930s. All right. Let's take note of that. Great Depression. All right. 1930s. Please let's take note of that. Great Depression of 1930s had begun. Now, this depression only ended when the economy jet up to meet increased demand of World War II. Now, even during this war period, all right, this war era, this time of war, okay, even within this period, there is still loopholes that there were still loopholes that needed to be attended to, filled up in the industry of advertisement, all right, because countries are going to war, nations are going to war, they will need firepower, they will need certain things to ensure that they overpower their obstacles, and there are things that are required that they can get to enhance these missions, all right, and this is what the American economy capitalized on. Okay, so now we have the fourth stage, which is the post-World War II. When we say post, we're talking about after post-World War, all right, II. Now, during this era, after, you can imagine, following the end of the World War II, the U.S. economy experienced an expansion, all right, an expansion as a result of greater demand, rebuilding and reconstructing of U.S. ally economics. Now, what are we saying in essence? The development of advertisements during the pre-industrial era is being categorized into 4 different eras, all right, by Gerard J. Tellis. So we have that. Now let's talk about the nature of advertisements. What was the nature of advertisement during this era, during this age? Now, during this era, advertisement was practically in form of one. I make me to erase the board so we can have more points. Now we have the nature of advertisement, nature of advert in the pre-industrial era. All right, so we have the very first thing, all right, hanging of carved signs in front of shop to attract passerbys. All right, hanging of carved, all right, carved signs. All right, here the usage of carved signs in front of shop, in front of shops. Okay, and we have symbols, the use of symbols. Okay, the use of symbols over letters and alphabets. All right, symbols basically sends a bit more detailed message across in just, all right, a look or at a glance, compared to writing of letters and words. All right, so these are basically the two things. All right, how advertisement and sales promotion was done during the pre-industrial era. Just these two things: carved sign, all right, carved sign, hanging of carved signs in front of shops, and the using of symbols. So now let's quickly talk about some development that enhanced advertisements during this era. All right, some development that enhanced advertisements. Now we have the Chinese invention of paper. All right, invention of paper. Now, around the period of 100, all right, BC or 100 or AD, okay, AD 105. Now, papers were, all right, paper was invented in China around this period. Paper was invented in China. All right, now records have it that a Chinese, all right, eunuch, how do I pronounce this? That's a T, that's a T I, let me just write it out first. T I, that's loan. This I loan, all right, a eunuch, a Chinese, all right, eunuch. This I loan was the first person to start a paper making industry. First person to start a paper making industry. All right, so these are the things that also assisted, that also boosted, all right, the development of advertisement during this pre-industrial age. All right, also in Europe, all right, we also have the invention of paper mill. All right, that is in Europe. Invention of paper mill. Also in Europe. Now we have, however, it is believed that Muslims first invented paper and make a thicker sheet, all right, of paper. Now paper making reached Europe as early as 1080s, all right, 1085, I beg your pardon, 1085. Paper making all right, reached Europe as early as 1085, all right. I think I should. Spain by 1150, okay, and I have France, all right, by 1190, all right, and we have Italy, all right, Italy at 1276. Okay, all this also added to what helped the development of, what fostered the development of paper. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's continue. Now let's talk about the evolution of advertisement in Nigeria. All right, so permit me to quickly erase this. Okay, so we have the evolution, all right, of advertisement in Nigeria. Now, as John Carnem in 2007 records, the earliest form of advertisement was trade by barter, according to John Carnem. In 2007, the earliest form of advertisement was trade by barter. Was trade by barter. Okay, now this was followed by public cries. All right, after trade by barter, we have public cries. All right, I believe we understand what we mean by public cry. We have a town crier, somebody just making that announcement, going from one place to the other. All right, just trying to get the attraction and making his announcement. All right, we have public cries. We have spoken publicity. All right, the use of metal or wooden guns. All right, or wooden guns. All right, wooden guns. That is supposed to be a S there. I think there's no space, so I'm just going to put it right there. So we have, all right, and had handheld bells by trader who rang them to attract customers' attention to their goods. All right. So according to the records of John Carnem in 2007, the evolution of advertisement in Nigeria took this shape. All right. So the rise of spoken publicity, both on radio, all right, it's from here, then it's progressed into spoken publicity, all right, on air, all right. All right, on radio, on television, has now become an important means of advertising, important factor in advertising in Nigeria. All right, so basically we have that as that. Now we are also, all right, we also have, now it can be said that the establishment of newspaper in Nigeria, pioneered by Iwe, all right, in 1859. Iwe Ori in 18, all right. Now take note, it can be said that establishment of newspapers in Nigeria pioneered by Iwe. I think that my spelling is not correct. That's Iwe Irohin. Okay, Iwe Irohin. My bad. Iwe Irohin, not Iwe Irohin. I think I need to write this out so we don't get to mix it. Iwe Irohin as a newspaper. Iwe Iro. Alright? Iwe Irohin in 1859. Alright? This paved way for newspaper advertisement in Nigeria. Adverts in Nigeria. All right, so you can see the progress of advertisements. All right, in Nigeria, starting from trade by barter to public cry, spoken publicity, metal, use of metal or wooden guns and bells rang by market women to get attraction of their customers. And we have the use of publicity, spoken publicity on radio and TV. Then we have the advent of the inception of Iwe. All right, pioneered the newspapers and paved way for, all right, adverts using the newspapers. So we have that as that. Okay, now please note that Henry Townsend, Henry Townsend established a portable printing press at Ake Abeokuta. Established a portable printing press at where? Ake Abeokuta. All right, Mission House. Please take note of that. And apart from the Iwe that was pioneered, news advertisement using newspaper, other, all right, newspapers companies were also established. The likes of the Anglo Africa, all right, all these are in the keynote. Definitely you get them, so no stress. The Anglo Africa in 1863. All right, we have Lagos Observer in 1882. We have the Eagle and Lagos Critics 1883, and we have that as that. Now, the very first newspaper advertisement in Nigeria, according to the same John Cannon, but now in 2006, all right, was between 1860 and 1865, which is the Iwe, all right, which is the Iwe, the very first newspaper advertisement in Nigeria. All right, so we have that as that. Now, you also need to pay attention to this. We have something called IMC, and IMC simply means Integrated Marketing Communication. All right, and it's a program. All right, this program is to communicate with an audience or targeted group. That is the IMC. All right, so lastly for today, let's touch on communication quickly. But in our next class, I want us to conclude with this course so we can try some other course, because the time is counting fast and we have a long way to go, so we can't spend forever on just one course. So now basically communication is no news to us, all right, and basically the origin of the term communication is derived from the Latin word, all right, from the Latin word communicare, all right, communique, all right, which, all right, one can see sharing, all right, sharing in it. And we also have, it can also be traced to the French word communiste, all right, French word, all right, communist, which symbolizes common, all right, common among relevant people. Now, when we say communication, it's an instrument, all right, instrument, is an instrument for social, all right, instrument for social interaction. Okay, please take note of that. It helps understand ourselves, all right, keep in touch with each other and understand situations. It is usually said among communication practitioners that when communication goes smoothly, all right, it looks simple and effortless, all right, but that is not usually the case. Communication observes, all right, is being hampered by some, all right, by some certain factors, all right, and which we have noise, all right. So let's just quickly touch on the principle of communication. We have communication is unavoidable, all right. Communication is unavoidable. We have communication is strategic, all right. Communication is unavoidable in the sense that we must communicate, all right. We must communicate as human. And we also have communication is strategic, meaning that communication, all right, it means for every communication effort there is a goal. You don't just communicate for no reason. There's a goal you intend to achieve. There's a message you intend to pass, all right. It's strategic, all right, and we have that as that. So we also have, when we talk about communication, we have, there must be a channel in which you intend to pass the communication, all right, and there must be two parties, a minimum of two parties, which is the decoder and the encoder and the decoder, all right. The decoder is the person passing the message, all right, and the encoder is the person passing the message, all right, the one who has intention, all right, has an idea he wants to communicate, all right, and he has to use agreed signs and symbols that the decoder can understand, all right. If he uses something that the decoder cannot comprehend, then he has only spoken above the decoder's ear. So he must use what the decoder can comprehend, all right. Without doing this, communication has not taken place. For communication to take place, there has to be a sending to the receiver, and the receiver has to respond, all right, to the message, and which is feedback, all right. Then it can be understood that okay, message has been passed, all right, is understood and it's going to be worked upon, all right. So thank you very much. I think on this note we'll call it a wrap for today's class, and in our next class you call it should be done with the course MAC132. So with this being done, thank you very much everyone. I look forward to seeing you all in subsequent tutorials. Bye bye.